Why? Why do I kneel to these concepts? Tempted by controlled by temptation. Stay low, they say. Stay low.
In his first letter, 98806 Moon 18, Clancy writes, "We all worked to represent our bishop with honor, and knew that each inhabitant of our region had a like-minded dedication to consistency. Keons embodied the spirit of this dedication." Clancy tells us that the routine of Dima was followed with efficiency by him and his fellow villagers. But what really matters in this journal entry is his description of Keons. Keons, the embodiment of the spirit of dedication to consistency. Consistency, defined as conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness. These people of Dima apply themselves in a uniform, consistent manner. Keons was the embodiment of this. Might we say Keons is a representation of routine and control? If we really think about it, consistency is the exact reason that Tyler and Clancy are stuck in the cycle of leaving and returning to Dima. Every time they leave in the same way, they don't do anything to break the cycle, they just try to leave it. So the cycle drags them right back in. Clancy admires Keons. He looks up to him. Why? The thing is, consistency is a major mechanism of control. Conformity, consistency, uniformity, those are all methods to maintain control. Control of others like the bishops of Dima, but also control over one's own life. But when we exert that control, when it's all that we think we need, when we follow the same routines and allow no flexibility or the possibility of power being in the hands of others, if there is no acceptance of the fact that we cannot always be in control, we drown. Tyler as Clancy, we have to remember that everything about this is a metaphor of what goes on in Tyler's head. Seize that power, that rock-hard steadiness and control that Keons exhibits, and he admires it. So, he's stuck in it. When Keons calls to him to return to Dima, he does. So, what do we have to do to escape the cycle which Keons is so clearly attached to? Well, we kill him. But how? Keons, being the good guy, the gentle leader, comes from the fact that this need for control and this illusion of it allows Tyler to block out his insecurities. By controlling the way he writes, his method, everything about his shows, he avoids the insecurities that come with those things. Those insecurities, as most of us have been saying, are represented by the bishops. Notice that when Clancy writes, the bishops are present, but one of them is not. Many have thought that this was Nico, but let's put it out there and say that it was actually Keons. We see this fantastic metaphor play out in the outside. Keons, the bishop of control, is seen literally controlling trash, the representation of creativity. While Tyler allows his need for control to affect his creativity, he's tied down, and his work suffers. Now we dive into acceptance. I've been talking about acceptance for a while now. In my last video, I talked about how Tyler's shirt becoming black could be a representation of Blurryface taking over. And that Blurryface could be taking over because Tyler accepts it and allows him to. Now, with Blurryface being the single representation of all of Tyler's insecurities, the bishops, we see the visual of Tyler accepting these insecurities. In the meantime, we watch the bishops, all of Tyler's insecurities, murder Keons, Tyler's specific need for control. The bishops murder Keons, Tyler takes over, and now he dances freely. So basically, this is what I'm saying. For so long, Many of us have been thinking down the line that Keons is an ally. He's a good guy because of the way Clancy describes him. I think, in reality, Keons is just as bad as the bishops. The difference is that he exists to mute out the effects of the other bishops. Keons represents control, but an unhealthy sense of it. By being in control over all his insecurities, Tyler doesn't accept them. When he doesn't accept his insecurities and tries desperately to maintain control over his creativity, everything suffers. Clancy likes the sense of control, and he's attached to it. With Keons being Tyler's metaphorical sense of control, Clancy is metaphorically Tyler's hope being attached to that control. When Tyler kneels to this need for control, Clancy bows, and slowly but surely, Tyler's hope is drained from him while Keons takes over his ability to create. When Tyler finally destroys this suffocating need for control by accepting his insecurities, Clancy dies a little death as well. But Tyler taking over Keons allows for a new resurrection of Dima's protagonist as well. This is how we see hope resurrect as something new and fresh. This is how the cycle is broken. When Tyler can loosen his grip on consistency, he can finally escape that cycle and move on with a new, clean hope detached from any kind of insecurity. A new sense of control, one of freedom and acceptance, one unafraid becomes our good bishop, who Tyler now owns of his own free will. With that sense, we move out of darkness by accepting our faults, and our new hope, one which exists outside of that cycle and darkness, comes with.